Hey, greetings everyone. It is GleeCon, pumped to be here back again with another episode of Lore of Warcraft. On our last episode, we read through the entire Chapter 8 of the Dark Factions Dungeons and Dragons sourcebook material. We read like about some troop kind of strategies like battle tactics that all of these remaining factions that we haven't covered yet use. We're getting very close to the end of that book. A couple more eps and that one will be done. We've also been playing through World of Warcraft Classic with, right now we're going to be on a kick with old Chalice here, so stay a while and listen. We're going to jump right in. On our last episode, she basically had to grind her way through a drop quest. We're looking for a specific item, and she found it after about 45 minutes, and then we squeezed in one other episode as well. So let's just see where we're at. Okay, so with the actual quests, I was thinking about doing Stonetalon, so let's just do that. Down here, I think, is where she can actually buy... I want to say maybe it's her cooking. Yeah, I think the expert cookbook is down there. She's going to be broke. I'm going to wait, I think, a little bit. We'll do the Talon Deep Path first. Let's go ahead and knock that bad boy out. Let's buff up first. And, yeah, so last time we found this stone, and I believe... I don't even know where we turn it in. Oh, the next part of it... I think it's right there. I truly don't remember. Or maybe it's over there. Yeah, there it is, that little stone or whatever, I don't know. Right now what we're going to do is go through here to the Talon Deep Path because we have 3 things that we have to do. We have 2 breadcrumb quests we need to accomplish. And then we also have... we have to kill some poor wyverns. It's a little bit of a bummer. I like the wyverns. When you kill the things that are, like... also kind of not evil, it does feel a little bit... It's like when you kill Wildkin or Moonkin. It's like, do I have to? But when they're crazed, or furbolgs, I guess you spend a lot of time killing furbolgs, so you get a little desensitized to it, but same kind of vibe. Now, we've got to make our way down here, I think, is the Talon Deep Path. This is kind of a weird one. I could go stealth if I wanted to. The reason why I'm staying in cat form is because I get a slight speed buff based on my overall stats. I think this feline swiftness, that gives me an extra 30% movement speed. That's actually pretty solid, considering the basic mount that you get at level 40 is only a 60%. So I think Ghost Wolf form is that the Shaman get are a little bit better than that. I want to say... man, I don't know if it's 40% or it's a little faster than 30, I believe. But then again, it has a casting time, whereas this is instant. Yeah, we got to get whatever herbs we can because she is a little behind on that. It's funny that she's so up on her cooking, but then on her main job, her herbalism, she's behind. And it's not like there's a dearth of herbs in Darkshore or anything. It's just somehow that one falls behind. Alright, so cool. Now she's at 125. I think I might actually... that might unlock the herbs I have been unable to collect so far. It also means when I'm in the vicinity, I can try to bump myself up to expert herbalism, although I won't be able to afford that. I don't know why this girl is so broke. I think it's because you spend a comparatively less time fighting humanoids when you're running this Kalimdor Alliance. And it's just how it works out. There's not a lot of balancing in the game when it comes to that. Like, if you start out as a horde or a troll, it's a lot harder to level up cooking because you've got to go out of your way to find fishing first, and pretty much maxing your fishing out is the only way to also max out cooking. Now, I do think we're going to end up taking her all the way up to the flight path up here, so we've done plenty of time in this area. There's no need for us to beat around the bush or stay here. We're going to turn in just the breadcrumbs that we wouldn't get any other way. We're not going to pick up the quests or do anything in Stonetalon other than murder all these little pride beings, these wyverns. And yeah, so she's going to continue to press on. I don't know how long it's going to take us to do this zone. My thinking is that we'll get to be around level 25 or 26, busting it out. We'll just be busting the whole thing. For those of you that have been tuning in, hey, I really appreciate it. I don't know what I've done differently in the past 2 days, but it's like I went through a period of about 2 weeks where it just felt like, oh man, am I losing it? Am I making trash content? And I mean, I know I'm not out here doing either the interactive streaming kind of things, and a lot of my fans are overseas, so it kind of makes it a little harder to do that. And again, a lot is relative to, you know, the few viewers that I have, but also I don't, you know, so I know I'm not that level of content of quality there, but still I've always been pretty consistent, and this has been one of the longest time periods of just not getting a lot of views, not getting a lot of new blood, new subscribers, likes, anything like that. So I was starting to have a little bit of a bummer, and I had to remind myself, like, hey, I do this only for one reason. Fans or whatever, the subscribers, you guys out there, the ones that watch it, that's 50% of it. I love that. But really, I do it because this is super fun for me. And that's the only, you know, I would do it by myself. So why not talk to myself while I do it and bring some people along for the ride? I think I can do King's Blood now. Let me go read that. And then just all of a sudden over the past 2 days, it's just, I've jumped up, like, I was down to a point where I was getting like only 20 or 30 views a day, and that's like, I've almost never had that low since the beginning of the show, when I had like 2 subscribers. And then all of a sudden I'm up to like 500 views a day. So I don't know what I've done differently over the past 2 days, but I appreciate you guys tuning in and watching, and whatever I did, I'm glad that people are liking it. You know, you need those little things to, not necessarily to validate it or justify it, but you know, you don't want to, I feel this way about my own, like, professional life as well. I don't want to feel like I'm producing crap, you know. Every day, no matter what I'm doing, whatever you do, and I think this is, well, I don't know if it's true for everyone, but I think it goes hand in hand with having satisfaction, whatever you do in life. You want to be proud of what you do. I think plenty of people just go phone it in, and, you know, you're like, whatever, my job doesn't appreciate me much, this isn't what I truly love, I deserve more than this, yada yada yada. And I've been there before too, but I always find that if I want to be proud of what I'm doing, and I make a concerted effort to do that the results speak for themselves, and you get what you put into it. And I think that's true for everything in life. So there's my philosophy for the episode. I won't dive too deep into it. Instead, let's focus on picking bruiseweed. I'm glad that we can get the King's Blood in the bruiseweed. So if you're wondering, seems like 125 was the threshold, and now boom, I'm already up to 130. I'm not as interested in killing these Venture Co guys. I don't care. If I see a Pride Wing, I'll murder one of those. I mean, I will gently put it down. My claws will be as trank darts in a bear that escaped from the zoo, but also they have to die. So, I mean, we'll keep that from the kids. Kids, if you're watching, they're just going to sleep. A really long sleep. They're going to respawn real soon. So, there's one. A young Pride Wing. Don't read into that, kids. Just because they're young, that's all relative. I mean, for all we know, a young Pride Wing, I don't know the lore on the Pride Wings, like, maybe a Pride Wing lives for like 2,000 years, and a young Pride Wing is still a couple centuries. Kind of like 9,000 or whatever. We don't know that. This Pride Wing might have lived a long, full life. And there's its venom sac. We needed that. I can't remember why we needed it, but it is probably... Let's hope it's for something good and not like, well, we wanna poison and hurt our enemies. Starts to be a little harder. Let's see, from the lore thing, orc assassins use this creature's venom, so it appears as though the drop rate seems to be good. I will take that for sure. It says we must we're trying to deny the orc assassins who have been killing us with this poison we are trying to kill these things, I guess, in a way of stopping the Horde from getting access to this poison. It seems a little bit convoluted, like, couldn't we just maybe kill the assassins or steal their sources, their means of production? It's like saying, well, our enemy uses a lot of spears, so we're just going to have to burn down the entire forest. And there's no other way. Maybe find an antidote to the poison? I don't know. Now, if that was the case, if they were like, we need this poison because we're going to use it to derive an antidote, then I would be like, okay. But no, the lore of this is we're killing them because the Horde likes them.
You've come from Ashenvale at the behest of Tara. How I miss her, my homeland and
like
friends. She must be doing well with the Sentinels to be sequestering adventurers for other tasks. I'm proud of her. It is a pleasure to meet you, adventurer.
Thanks.
The situation here in Stonetalon is obviously grave for a night elf and gnome to be working together. The venture company has devastated these lands, and I've spent most of my time.
All right, so we read this one actually, and it's just a breadcrumb to this guy, and we've already done it. But I'll take the free XP, like the whatever that was, 100 XP or whatever. So we're gonna drop out of her. We're not gonna do those quests, but I did get the whatever it was, the 170 XP for taking 2 steps. Why not? Alright, so we need to kill these as well, and after we kill them, we'll go up here and turn in the other breadcrumb, get that flight path, and then fly over back to, whatever it's called, Astronar or whatever. Yeah, Astronar. Alright, and it seems, I mean, fingers crossed, but so far we've had a 100% drop rate on, Pride, so... We're about halfway, we just passed the halfway point to level 24. And then I don't know. Yeah, we still have some things that are all within reasonable stuff for a level. That's the one good thing. She's been taking a long time, kind of doing this journey on her own. She's sort of isolated from everybody else, but between like it's a smooth leveling curve for her. So we have had a couple things that were a little tricky, a couple elites, stuff like that, but for the most part, this has been a pleasurable and smooth leveling experience. I enjoy it. It's like. This is how the game was meant to be played, not the crazy butt way I do it. Like, or the way Erator is doing it. He's playing it in an order that makes sense. You know, you do Elwyn, then Westfall, then Red Ridge Mountains, and now Duskwood. Like, and there's a reason why he's having a positive experience. The Nessingwary and Maleficent, a little bit different. There's this bit because they had to then come over, but it's not crazy to switch over at that point. So this guy's fighting them. Looks like they needed to. Yeah, but not nothing too terrible. And I'm trying to think about who our other people are. That's Callie. It's just harder for me. I feel like she's in a better space now, but it was harder to get that going at the beginning for sure. Alright, so we're still at that 100% drop rate. I can't complain about that. I don't know if he saw me first, or if I broke stealth, or if the dot, because I've got this poison dot on me, if that was part of it. I don't know.
Ability isn't ready yet.
We gotta get out of here. Let's cure the poison, and then heal up. We don't even have time to mess around. Torn for a year, so there goes our 100% drop rate. I jinxed it. Well, I don't know that I jinxed it. I mean, it just is what it is. It's not 100%. It's okay. It's pretty solid, and I can't complain about that. These guys are also level 21, so we're getting a pinch more XP. I think the first couple were a little lower than that in level. Oh, poisoned me at the last minute, you dingo. What is this? Fine leather pants. At least my alliance, nothing wary. So we could send that over to nothing wary. Sure, it'll be okay. No, if you notice, no Pride Wing there. So we've now killed 5. We have a 3 to 5 ratio. I mean, yeah. I guess a 3 to 2 ratio is the technical math. But a 3 to 5 ratio. 3 out of 5 proportion. Look at me throwing all this math vocabulary in there for you guys. Little did you know on this episode we were going to be talking math. Actually, you know, you can't really be a gamer and get deep into any sort of meta aspect of gaming without having a little bit of an inner mathy. Just impossible. Because it's a numbers game, you know? Down to the straight code, it's numbers. So it looks like we got a lot up in these mountains. We can figure out how to navigate that. 4 out of 12. None's too shabby, and we're only 15 minutes into this episode, so that's pretty good. I gotta tell you, I'm exhausted, but I really want to stay on top of it. I want to, I think, the only thing I can really think of about my spike is being persistent, even when I started to lose kind of faith or whatever. Being persistent with the delivering the content. I think that tends to help. There comes a point when it's white noise. Like there have been times in the show. Obviously, if you just do the math, I've been out for a little more than a year and a half, and I have over 1,000 episodes. So, just doing the math, there has to be an average of more than an episode a day at some point. And there have been days where I've cranked out like 10 episodes in a day, and it's made me lose subscribers. So I think there comes a point when that you're just white noise, and so even if I would get to a point where I wanted to do that again, I don't know that I would. Or maybe I would create, if I was really at a spot where I was making that kind of 10 episodes a day, maybe I would make different kind of content. I know that the entrance might not necessarily be as high, but I really I would absolutely do a Diablo run or something. I would find something to do, you know. The problem is with some of these series that I really love, if you go back and like let's say the Dragon Warrior series, really fun series. So just on my you can play like almost all of them on your phone. So I go and start. I started like, hey, let me go back and play them all, and you know, I'll use an emulator. It'll take some of the pain off, and I can play on my phone. So just while I'm watching, you know, Netflix or whatever at the end of the night, I can just be playing, and
it is too far away.
Convenient. Uh-oh. Okay, so we have we're in a tough cinch here. Dang. Okay. Yikes. Okay, so this is where that nature's. Oh, I died. I was just about to pop that potion too. It was too. They hit too hard, and when they get those dots, and then they started stun locking me, where they were both hitting me with some kind of, probably like a wing buffet or something. As soon as I saw that I pulled the second one, I should have bounced. I've been cutting it too close just fighting one. Or I should have entangled one and backed off. Being reckless. Wasting time. At least you get that nice flight speed, that ghost speed as a night elf. You get that bonus. But anyway, yeah, so I started playing the Dragon Quest games. And man, it is just like I played it for completion. It is painful. I did all of Dragon Quest 1 and Dragon Quest 2. I started doing Dragon Quest 3, which is like you have to do like maybe like a Game Boy Advance emulator, because it's the only way it was ever released, and it's so you're already losing some of the original. There's just little things like that where it's like, ah, gosh. Same thing with Final Fantasy. There's just so much content with Final Fantasy. Like, do you want to play them all? Really? Because if we're really going to look at all of them, I mean, you got to play the Final Fantasy Chocobo pedometer game. You got to play the spin-offs. You have to play the theater rhythm games, which are cool. Not knocking theater rhythm games, but just you have got to. Anytime I start a JRPG based journey like this, you got to really commit. Same thing with the Kingdom Hearts games, even though it's not quite as daunting. It's got a lot, and those spin-off games, they can be rough. They can be quite rough. Oh man, I really thought I wasn't in Prowl. That was all me. Yeah, especially that last guy where I wasn't even in Prowl. I see that right there. What's it called? Dang. See, even this. Oh, because he's 24.
I don't have enough energy.
Okay, let's see what we can do here. Maybe I can get out of there. See, we're both. Yeah, I got it just in time. But we both had a dot on each other. Stupid poison. And then that swoop is a stun. Yeah, at 24, they're a little bit tough. I mean, I'm 23, so I guess that is technically above me. Yeah, these guys are a little bit tougher up here. I mean, whatever. I just gotta be smarter. It might even be worthwhile to. I mean, my mana's a little low because I'm recovering from my death, but it might even be worthwhile to. Oh my gosh, I forgot to freaking. I keep forgetting to go on Prowl. Maybe I need to hit him with 3 claws. Oh, come on. Hit this. Then pop out of it. Hit this. And maybe I just need to. Oh, I didn't even. Suck. I don't have the energy to switch back over. Come on. That. Magic points. 231. Come on, mate. I really thought I hit him with the dot in time. Oh my. Killing me, bro. This time at least that. See, that was what I originally had intended, was to hit him with that. And I either I missed it or I jumped too soon. I don't know. Woof. And it wore off. Alright, let's I sold all my clam chowder because last episode I was doing so good. I was like, yeah, I don't really need it. Let's go ahead and buff my intelligence. Go ahead and get my life going. Then we just have to wait. And this time maybe I can actually go into Prowl and stop you. Oh yeah, that's another reason. My stabs were so low. Because I don't fight in the staff field very much. Now, there you go. I think if you get that, whatever this is called, shred, being able to lead combat with the shred is a big boon.
That ability isn't ready.
Okay, now making sure that you land that hit in. There we go. Now, ideally, because my dodge chance is higher when I stay in this form, I think it's better overall to do it, but I'm gonna have to drink some milk just to get my mana back up. So that kind of slowed me down just a pinch. We're making good progress, and then all of a sudden we start hitting these tougher ones, and it's almost like, is it worth fighting them when they're this many levels higher? Is the XP bonus worth it? I guess if I play it smart, it probably is, but the drop rate's not any better. Kind of want that wild steel bloom over there too. Yeah, and I'll get that starting buff to energy if I level that up.
I need to get closer.
I think I'm at 50%, so obviously that a little bit. I think these guys are tough enough. Waiting for the 3rd dot on rip seems to be worth it. I'm still spending the entire dot. The 12 seconds, it still has its time to run its course. And then they hit me with that dot too, and it's cool. We got the Wild Steel Bloom. But yeah, if you notice... Oh, I didn't loot him. I keep missing that, like where I think I'm looting him and I'm not. I don't even know if there's anything I can do with Wild Steel Bloom yet. Alright, cool. So we're halfway through the Pridewing Venom Sacks. I had a feeling that this run, just for the way things go, was going to take us the majority of the episode. And then it started off so smooth, and I was like, oh man, we're going to be doing good. But then I was...
I'm out of range. Not ready yet. Not enough energy. I need to get closer.
You can do this, girl.
I don't have
Maybe if she, like,
energy.
kind of
I'm
slowly
not
reverse
yet.
kites, it'll slow them
Not
down a
enough
little bit.
energy. I don't have
I don't know if that's good or not. Like, I can't tell if this is... like, oh, well, the dot wore out. I mean, it stopped him from poisoning me. I don't know if that's coincidence or not. Can't tell. But I did miss the rip, the shred.
I'm out of range.
When you hit him with that shred, it's just so much better.
My body isn't ready yet. I don't
It's a good move. I mean, it's basically the backstab. Okay. You buster.
have enough
You
energy.
stinking buster, you.
Energy. I don't have enough energy.
Okay, we got that venom sack back. Nothing's too shabby. Okay, so we're at 7. And we're doing good. I think we're around 2/3 of the way through level
It is
23.
too far away. I can't do that yet.
Yeah, I don't know what we... I mean,
Not
I
ready
do
yet.
want to get those cooking things, but... see, I don't know if it's any better. I mean, that seems to be a little bit better. Who knows? I mean, at least the respawn rate's pretty good. They're densely packed together, so this quest could be much worse. It could be... It's really not that bad. Not as bad. I did this... oh, I don't think we've done it together, but there's an Incendicite quest, or I don't know. You're basically killing the fire elementals in this charred veil. And it is brutal. Like, it was so bad that by the time I finished doing it, battered chest. What's that gonna have? Some cheese in it or something? But by the time we finished doing that, we didn't even want to turn it in. My wife and I, we were just like, you know what? Screw it. That's it. It was exhausting. It took so long because you had to wait so long for them to spawn. There's competition. It was bad luck when it came to that. You could clear especially with 2 people. And you needed 10 of them or whatever. So that's the downside. That it all shakes out in the end. But when you team up with someone, yeah, some quests, especially kill quests, ridiculously easy. It's like a humongous unfair advantage. But then when you have a pickup quest or whatever, oh man,
I can't do that.
it's just
Not ready
brutal.
yet. I can't do that yet.
Okay, see that this one's only 23, but still their overall toughness is pretty
I
good.
don't have enough energy.
Thorns is getting low. Alright, so there we go. Getting there. He did not poison me. I think it's just random. Alright, we gotta just find 3 more. We're doing pretty solid. I don't know what that thing... I guess it's supposed to be one of their... These are supposed to be their nests. Like these things perch up and lay eggs or something? I don't know. It's a little weird. I can't picture them laying eggs, but... They don't even look bird-like at all. So, I just think it's weird that they would have nests in the first place.
My ability isn't ready yet. I can't do that yet.
I mean, maybe we'll get some better, like, moves with this cat.
Ready yet.
Okay, cool. Equip ourselves with the poison. Probably need to do thorns again. 2 more.
It is too far away. Not ready yet.
Yeah, so I am tired. I've been working my. Today was a long day at work, and I have to go in super early tomorrow. So and it will probably be a super late day. One of my crunch weeks of the year. About, I don't know, 6 or 8 weeks out of the year where it's just, it's doo-doo. So, but you know, it's whatever. It's how you earn your money. And yeah, I have fun with this. Or at least I get to come home, do a great game with a hobby I look forward to. So can't really complain. And I got all the torn furry ears that I could want. Thank you, Blizzard. I love. You know what? There's I met someone the other day whose last name is Blizzard, like just spelled like that. I'm like, dude, is this like a legal thing? Is there a copyright infringement here? Are you somehow affiliated with it? I didn't really have that conversation. I just had all this thoughts.
Not enough energy.
But pretty cool last name. I wonder what the like country of origin is. Anaheim or something. Again, didn't ask. Maybe I will if I get a chance to have like a casual conversation. Be like, dude, where does it come from? Do you know? Where did you come from, Cotton Eye Joe?
Don't have enough energy.
I don't even remember their first name. I don't remember his first name. I just was so impressed with the names. Yeah, see, this guy's level 22, and then we just shred through him, and then boom, instant like collection of the items. So I guess we should have been. If you're wondering about doing this quest on your own, it seemed like fighting the much easier ones lower down I mean, this could just be pure luck, but I had a higher drop rate and a much easier time killing them. So, I mean, sure, will you get a pinch less XP? Yeah, but look how fast we killed them. Like, maybe if you're really like min-maxing your time XP per minute ratio and all that, then sure. So we had the old fantasy football draft this weekend. It's pretty fun. So I had a big moment of frustration. So every year, like I said on one of the last episodes, we do 10 episodes. I actually was thinking about this. I listened to this podcast, and one of the guys on the podcast, who's like a guest speaker, his name's Nick Shook. He's a football guy. He's a football reporter and pundit, I guess you might call him. He has his own podcast, which I've never listened to. I think it's called The Gridiron, but it's just all about. It's a podcast that talks about football and F-150 racing, and like it's just a weird mashup. So I feel like okay, I really like the guy. Like I think he's a cool. I like listening to him. I like his opinions and stuff. But then to think about that combo, I'm like. I wonder, like, who the heck is that for? Like, obviously, okay, the niche target of people that really love F-150 and NFL football. Okay. That's not me. I've never watched Formula F-150 racing in my life. But, okay, so which is why I don't listen to other podcasts. And then also, I'm guessing maybe you find people that like one or the other, or him, or his co-host, and you just get into it. And I was like, I wonder what it would be like if you could find like these weird, like to make a weird mashup podcast of my own. So then I was thinking like, what are some of the things I'm into? Like I'm really into fantasy, Dungeons and Dragons, gaming, World of Warcraft, Blizzard games, RPGs, in general, gaming in all its formats. Fantasy gaming more than anything else. And I am also really into football. Like, I'm a very big football fan. I spend, it's probably the number 2 thing that I focus my time on. I'm just a sports fan in general. I'm a coach. I've talked about that on some other episodes. So that's part of my life. It's out of season right now. My season starts in January. So I just have all that, and I was thinking, like, what if I did like a weird mashup podcast where you're just combining those things? I'm like, would there be any audience? Finally, you arrive to see Faldreas has listened to the forest. Oh, I see, Faldreas. Listen to the forest spirits. Apparently, Deckard Cain. And we don't need that. Killing those harpies is something that our girl already did, but we can get this flight path and fly back. We have finished Stonetalon with her, the only Stonetalon.
The loom be with you.
She'll do. And we can fly back to Astronar now. Which is cool. That's a load of cool beams. Big fat load of cool beans. So anyway, I was just thinking, like, I wonder what that would even look like. You'd have to, like, you need someone to talk with. That's one of the main things on podcasts. You definitely need 1 to 3, like, co-hosts to do it with you. And then you need, like, I'm not saying I would ever do this. I was just imagining this mashup. But there was a snafu, so we do a competition every year for the past 10 years where we bet on the preseason leading up to it, and the pecking order of how many predictions you get right determines your pick, your draft order. It's just a fun little wrinkle we add into our league. Well, I'm pretty darn good. I think in 10 years I've gotten a top 3 pick 9 out of 10 times. There was a year 2 years ago, or I guess you can't count this year, so like maybe 8 out of 9 times. But a couple years ago I got a draft. Maybe I got a lower pick. I don't even know if it's ever happened. Like, I'm very good. And really, it's not so much just a function of me being good at the picks. Because the preseasons are notoriously difficult to pick. If you can hit, especially now, it used to be a little bit better in the when there was 4 weeks, because there was a solid kind of unspoken consensus in the 3rd week of the preseason that you play some more of the starters. It was more predictable. There was less variance, so you could hit like 70% in week 3. But week 4, people do whatever the hell they want, and oftentimes, like, it's just 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th string guys that don't ever see the field. You can't predict it all. The only thing that is slightly predictable is the home team wins maybe like 55% of the time instead of 50% of the time in the preseason. And even that's not like a hard and fast fact. There have been years in the past 10 years where when you add it all up and shake it all out, the home team has won more than the away team has won more games than the home team. So the real only way, and the reason why I have been successful, is what Chandrel Swiftfire will tell us.
Oh.
Do you have the Pridewing venom sacs, Shalacir? We cannot allow the orcs to use the beast's poisons against us.
Del Nadris. Thank you, adventurer. It saddens me to order the slaughter of creatures who may not willingly aid our enemies, yet it is my duty to do so. Your heart might weep for the Pridewings you slew, my friend, but may your heart then swell in knowing that your allies are safe from the Pridewings' venom.
Alright, fine. So she has another quest, but we're not high enough level to pick it up yet. And I'd say we have time for another quest. Let's see where we're at here. We have this brains cleansing, whatever, over here. And then we also have this Elun's Tear. I think that's good. I think we can go check those 2 out. That's a good pair. So let's go turn this in and see where it takes us. And then if nothing else, we should also be able to get this Elun's Tear. Maybe, how's our bag space to it? Oh, we're fine. We have some things we can throw away if we need to. So, not to toot my own horn, but the reason why I am so successful in this endeavor is not because I am just better at it, but because I do research. I'm a research hound, and I will spend time, which I know beyond a shadow of a doubt, my peers do not do that. I'd say of the 10 people in the league, so the 9 other people, probably 5 to 6 of them are my good friends that I talk to all the time, at least once a week. So they're friends and family. So those people, just because I know them, I know for a gosh darn fact they are doing zero research. So then there's maybe 3 to 4 other people that it's like, okay, maybe, I don't know what you're doing. Well, of those 4, and these are like my college buddies that live on the West Coast that I don't, so I don't talk to them all the time. We text here and there, we talk football, but we don't really, we don't have a daily conversation anymore because, we're in our 40s and we have kids and families and we live on opposite coasts. Well, one of those I know for a fact doesn't do any research because he will email me every pick for the entire season, because I'm the commissioner. He'll send a packaged email like a week before the preseason even begins. So he's obviously not doing up to the minute research. He just sends like a pack of picks in. So it's whatever. Now, what's his underlying football knowledge? One of them, I just don't think he might do some thinking behind it, but I don't think he researches. I just don't think it happens. Now, I do have one of my really top competitors. So in 10 years, I've won the league maybe 3 times, the fantasy league, and he's won it 4 times. So he's actually won it more than I have. He was the first person to win it, and he's also had 2 different years where he got last place. So there's a lot of variance on his game, because, that's how fantasy goes. Luck is the number 1 overall factor. It's 90% of the game is luck. But, like, there's one year where he just went with Vegas. He just did whatever the bookmaker said. There's been years when he's played he's just played the home team. There's been years where, one of my buddies just flipped a coin. So, I just don't, whereas I will typically read an article, or 2 or 3. I'll read into who the starting lineups are going to be. I'll think about the narratives that are going into each game, what kind of camp battles are going on, especially at the most important positions like quarterback. Suffice to say, I put a lot of thought in it, and I usually hit 70 to 80% of my picks, which I can't always compete with luck, but it gets me a top 3 pick pretty much every year.
Hi.
Hello, how are you?
The great outdoors.
Oh, Rain sent you. It must be serious indeed. What can I help you with?
Is there trouble?
I wish your tidings were better. Rain is correct. I know about Dartol's creation and the treants in the area. At least I did once. They become corrupted now, their nature twisted. If your goal is to find the next piece of the rod, then you'll have to find the key to open the chest it's in. The wooden key is on one of the treants northeast of here near Fellwood. Once you have it, look for a small glade west of the road near the Fellwood border. The chest should be hidden around there.
Oh, okay. Oh, this is a level 27. So this is a tougher quest. We get a key. We have to get a key from these guys, and then we open the chest. Okay, so rather than do that... Look at this little blink dragon. Ooh, he's a level 27 also. Yikes. Luckily he's neutral. We don't have to kill him. Let's go check out Eloon's tier. Anyway, whatever. The whole point of that was there was a glitch, and when I submitted the results of the picks, which I got second place, I tied for first place, and I lost the tiebreaker. I usually pick I'll set one of the games to be the tiebreaker game, and then whoever if you happen to be the one that luckily picked that game, and then if it's still a tie, it goes to reverse standings. But anyway, So I which is fine. Second pick, I can deal with it. I was going to pick Jamar Chase and be on with my day, or unless the other guy picked Jamar, it was either going to be Jamar Chase or Justin Jefferson. I was going to go with one of those two guys, and I was happy with that. And then the league randomized the picks, and I ended up getting the 8th pick, and I was super bummed. And I was thinking, okay, well, if Travis Kelce falls to me, I would spend my 8th pick on Travis Kelce if he falls that far. I ended up getting Bijan Robinson, and then thank goodness, because the person who was so cocky and so like, I'm gonna win the league, blah blah blah, they picked Travis Kelce, 5th pick, round 1, and he, not that I'm happy he got injured. He's a phenomenal player, but he got injured today, and it might be a short-term thing, but it's just goes to show you just never know. Last year I got I think 9th place out of the 10 because I picked Jonathan Taylor as my first overall pick. Terrible idea. I had the number 1 overall pick, and I got banged in a big spot. All right, so we're gonna look for this little Eloon's tier up there. So that's just a little flavor, I guess, of what it would look like if this was if I had my own, if I started a show where I was like, we're going to talk about gaming and fantasy half the time, and football and fantasy football the other. I generally try to stay away from that because I don't know, I don't want to, like, I don't think there's a lot of necessarily crossover viewership going into this show in its current iteration. So I don't want to bore you guys. But that was my weekend. We had a party. And it was a good time. I got to see the family, which is always a mixed bag. Let's just say I don't have an uncomplicated relationship with my family. You know, it's they're the people that you love, and you have a lot of shared history, but oftentimes that's about where it ends. You know, what are you gonna do? You don't, just because they were, you know, they have some of the shared backstory issue, doesn't mean that you have the same philosophical, political beliefs, hobbies, interests, taste in music. I'm going to tell you, try to have a party, try to hold a shindig. And I can speak from this because I do it all the time, where everyone that comes likes the polar opposite music as you do. So try to have a fun festivity type of thing with no music, or with music where no one is all enjoying the same, like no one is happy. There's never a time when everyone is happy because the music is not pleasing everyone. Oh, there's a ton of balloons tiers everywhere. Cool. Alright, that was really hard. We have a shade to get Moss Eater. Should we just kill one for fun? I mean, we came all this way, right? I just kill one. I feel like he is asking us to kill him. Like, come on, guys. We're just hanging out here with these Eloon's tears. I need
Do that yet.
77 copper. It was all worth it. Now, I don't even feel bad about killing that one. Should we go in animal form? Yeah, swimmy form. I hear something. Another one was in that water waiting for me. You dirty so-and-so. He probably is dirty. I mean, he's this... Yeah, see, this is where I wish I had that Nature's Grasp thing. That's a good spell for fleeing like that, for kiting and stuff. You miss it when you don't have it. I don't know. I mean, I like the extra damage I'm doing. I do feel like that has ramped up a little bit, and that's important. I do need this furry. Alright, so after this one, I guess we might, I don't even know, yeah. Like, that was a quick quest, and we have about 10-ish minutes. Technically, we'll see what this, if there's a step 2, there might be a step 2, and that'll be something we can do real quick, or we could always try to do this culling the threat, just because it's, like, yeah, see, that's where that's killing like 30, 20, 25 guys. That's a little bit long for a squeeze this in the next 5-10 minutes. So we'll bust that one out on the next episode. Not the next, next one we're gonna do our penultimate D&D chapter ever. I am looking forward to that. It should be like a bestiary thing, but I had some comments too, just on this episode in general, or I mean on the last one. Ashenvale's just a fun place to quest. This is honestly, it's not that bad. I really actually like it less now in retail. It has lost some of its kind of mystery. But here, it's a good zone. I like it. She's going to eventually do those too once I finish up the zone. Yeah, and eventually she's going to come over here and get that flight path too. Alright, so let's go turn this in. Oh, this is we've been trying to heal his daughter, remember? She just can't wake up.
Chalice here. Did you find Iris Lake? Do you have the tear?
I do.
Oh, you found it. I will place the tear in a stew and pray that it will cure her. Thank you, adventurer.
Why would you not want to eat tree tear stew?
Elun's tear washed clear some of my daughter's sickness.
Wait, let's turn that off, because he says, Peltura's White Moon crushes the tear into a bowl of stew. Eat this, my daughter. It will help you feel better. There you go. She stirs from her delirium, old Relara White Moon. So I picture that. That's it. That's all we did was...
Elun's tear washed clear some of my daughter's sickness.
It's like
her nightmares are lessened,
Zelda.
and I thank the goddess for her blessing. But fever still rages within her. Orendil told me of a frosted dust found among the ruins of Stardust. Perhaps it will abate Relara's fever. Gather some of the dust, then please return to me. The ruins of Stardust lie to the south, adventurer. May Elun speed your journey.
This dude is just straight finding random crap and putting it inside his daughter. This does not seem... I don't know if he's going to be getting the parenting trophy of the year here. I'm just not sure. Not ready to hand it to him. Maybe I need to see some other contestants. This seems a little sketch. He's like, here, I'm just going to stick some tree tears. Now go grab some dust for her. We're going to, I don't know, have her snort some dust. I can't even remember what step 1 was, because there was something else. And it didn't quite work either. So he just keeps trying this random stuff. That's another thing. It's just, I just always thought it was so interesting that the concept of, and this goes back to like Native American healing, just any kind of natural home remedies or whatever, where you're like, yeah, I feel like crap. The environment, diseases, bacteria, other people, my own genes have made me sick. And just conveniently, the crap that is in the trees and plants in the vicinity, they're going to be what makes me better. I'm not saying it's not true. I just think that it's interesting. That people... I mean, sure, if you're desperate, why would you not try it, I guess? But it just seems like a... if it's... And I'm not even saying it's not true, but if that is true, and that is how the world works, that is how medicine... Then what a convenient, coincidentally convenient world we live in, where the things around us can heal us from the ailments that we catch. What does that speak? How does that... What can we take from that? Is that just because we all come from the same sort of... you are what you eat, we're composed of the same molecules, these things grow around us, and then thus they must be part of our being? Or are we going to take a religious view? A god, whatever your belief system is, has made it this way so that you, which, I mean, I'm not disagreeing with that either. I'm not throwing shade on any one particular belief system. I'm just saying it's very noteworthy. Either there's a lot more in mind over matter than maybe we acknowledge, and the mind plays a crap ton of a part here, or the world is miraculously coincidental, and you have to just revel in the sheer marvel of consistently winning the lottery as a species. I'm less inclined to believe that. But sure, is it possible? Absolutely. Probably, it's possible. The odds are not zero. Or is this all part of a grand design by an intelligent creator? And I don't want to tip my hat and
I can't think that.
oh my gosh. I don't want to tip my hat or alienate any of my viewers on either side of the spectrum, but I think it's worth it's food for thought for sure. One way or the other, or maybe I don't think it has to be like black and white either. It could be a little of this, a little of that. There's probably some truth in the mind over matter, and there's very possibly some truth into the probability. There's very possibly some truth, at least in my worldview, that there's some a power that we can't comprehend, and that's okay. You don't need to understand everything, you know. But this guy, despite that big rant I just went on, this dad who's having his daughter, his sick bedridden daughter, snort these fungus man's plants, maybe he's taking it a bit too far. But yeah, I think that was perfect. That was actually the perfect length of a quest. Does kill a few guys, collect 5 dusts, so that the daughter can get a little snort on. Nothing wrong with that, right? Clearly, Blizzard wouldn't make it in a child-friendly game if there was anything wrong with it. Not at all. Not at all. Yeah, so we'll turn this in. That's a great one, and then we'll log out. And then next time, let's see. Our prediction for what we could do is pretty solid. Next time we will go ahead and start killing these guys. It will also allow us to go down here to the elemental braces. Probably we're about to hit 24. I think maybe we're gonna probably ding right now. What I will probably do is after I log, I'll at least put myself on the flight path to Darnassus, I mean, and maybe we'll level up too and see where we're at, because as soon as we go down there, that cookbook's gonna be for sale, and man, I don't know. We really need our powers too. It's a tough sell. I don't know why I'm so freaking broke. Maybe I can have like another character like a alt, sugar daddy, sugar mama, sugar alt. Just send her some money. All right, let's find out what's going on.
I'm listening.
You have the stardust, Chalice.
You gathered the dust. I will create a poultice from these. It should bring down Relara's fever. Thank you again, adventurer. Without your help, my child would surely perish.
So I gotta say, Cuzzy, this is a comment. This is a comment specifically for you. So those listeners that are new, Cuzzy's one of the longtime OGs, and he comments on a lot of my videos. So I talked about on the last episode how my wife was like saying that she preferred my speaking to the chat GPT, like little add-on mod. And then Cuzzy was like, yeah, no, I mean, whatever you want to do. Your voice, some of your voices are cool, like your goblin voice is cool and your night elf voice. And then I was thinking to myself, like, well, those aren't even the voices that I'm proudest. Like, I think my dwarf voice is pretty cool, and some of my other generic like human voices and stuff. And then I remember that Cuzzy is that you are from, I think, Europe. I don't know exactly what part, but overseas. You've mentioned that before, and I was like, that's what it's got to be. It's because those accents I try to do a little like UK, whether it's Ireland or whatever, or Britain, and or England, and if you live from somewhere, even in that vicinity, I'm sure I'm terrible. So then I was like, oh yeah, the one where I'm like doing a New Yorker accent, or I'm not doing an accent at all, I'm just modulating my tone. These American style accents, of course, those are probably more bearable. And I apologize for whatever butchering that I'm doing to my quote unquote Irish or Dwarven or whatever accents that I'm doing. So He gathered the dust, and he's going to make a poultice, and obviously what could go wrong? Ding-a-ling-a-ling. He places a poultice on Relara's brow. She sighs, gives a sigh of relief. Oh no, he sighs with relief. So that's it. Nothing has changed, but I don't even think this girl looks like she's not even wearing a top. What is going on, Blizzard? It looks completely... What the heck kind of outfit? What is this? This girl looks straight up nude. What the... Alright, sorry. Now I've got to not flag this one for kids. Come on. It's not even a PG episode. That girl literally has no shirt on. He's just... Okay, so... Ladies and gentlemen, the polls are open. Pelturis White Moon's Dad of the Year Award. Let's just add this in there. We got to slide this in right before the buzzer. Also spends an inordinate amount of time watching his nude daughter sleep. No, just putting it out. No, just putting it out there. Take that into consideration before you cast your vote.
Relara's fever has passed, but she is still
I mean, that's why.
weak.
She has a fever. He's trying to cool her off.
Time alone will give her back the strength she has lost. I believe it will take the power of a moonstone.
Oh, it's cool. I can mine some of
We
those.
used to gather moonstones at Fallen Sky Lake to the southeast until the Shade Thickets came.
Dang, the Shade Thickets.
Their leader, a Shade Thicket oracle, gathered up all the fallen moonstones and hoards them. Now you must retrieve a moonstone from the oracle. And to do that, I fear that you must slay him.
Okay. I'll try. I will really try so hard. I'm getting skeeved. I feel like I need a shower after I leave this room now. The more that this backstory unfolds, the more disgusting it is. So that is a level 30 quest. Alright, so his daughter's not getting healed anytime soon. But we are 24 now. We can go up to 60% chance to gain that energy. Boo, that's boring. Alright, I don't even know what else. Yeah, there's no need to look it up. Alright, so I'm gonna go hop on the flight path, or at least stand next to it for a second. Because we're gonna learn whatever powers we can. I'm gonna focus on the cat-like powers. They're the ones I mostly care about. Yeah, that is what it is. I do think... Oh, look, now she's ready to give us this other quest. Let's at least pick this up, too, because now it's available. It's called Caneth Stillwind.
The druid Caneth Stillwind sent word to me. He would like a report of the happenings along our coast and in the forests surrounding Astronar. He fears there is a corruption moving through Ashenvale, and he may be right. Here, take my report to him. You will find him in the Shrine of Forest Song, in the Night Song Woods to the east.
Okay. She has a note. Oh, he's way over there. So that's cool. At least we are going to have some quests over there. And they're the 29, so that gives us kind of one more level stepping stone. Although, yeah, that's still 5 levels away from where we're at. We've got some grinding to do. If it gets that difficult, we might actually end up doing Blackrock Depths before we do some of this. It might be easier. Because all the quests we have, like the Black Fathom Deeps, I meant to say, not Blackrock Depths. Yeah, 25 is the lowest one, 27, 28. Somewhere around there, then it's going to start to be not worth it anymore. Yeah, that's cool. Okay, so we got that quest. And before I hop on this flight path, I'm going to do a goodbye to everyone. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching and for listening to Crazy Old Me. I look forward to seeing you all next time on the next episode of Lore of Warcraft. This one's in the pipe. 5x5. Peace.